Let me have another swig of this.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Mudville.
You gotta film this one.
I'm the cheap entertainment here tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big winner.
So you're the one who got the appearance fee, huh?
Yes. Before I get started, thank you very much, Larry Dorr, for having me on your trip.
No, we had a good time.
If it hadn't been for you, I probably wouldn't have been playing golf here in the last 2 years anyway.
Well,
Not as well.
Now we're going to get fucking sentimental.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ah, new hips.
You asked me, the new
Okay.
hips.
The tears,
no
my
tears.
tears,
Two new
the tears
hips
are coming.
in one
You
sitting.
cheer up over there?
People that know me know that I like to play golf and I like to watch baseball. And baseball is a real passion of mine. And I put together this little story with a poem maybe several years ago, and people like to hear it. It was a little over 122 years ago now that a young man, he was 3 months shy of his 25th birthday. He was a rich kid from Boston. He went to Harvard, and he fashioned himself as somewhat of a thespian or a writer, and he went to Europe, and he had money.
Lots of thespians.
no, that's
That's lesbian.
lesbian.
Yes, thespians too.
His parents, his father knew the founder of the San Francisco Chronicle newspaper, the Hearst family. So they got this young man a job as a freelance sports writer for the San Francisco Chronicle, and he wrote a poem about this young man, about a baseball player in a small town, Midwest town baseball team called the Mudville Nine, and he wrote about a player on that team, and this player will live in the hearts and minds of baseball fans forever. The poem first appeared in the Sunday morning edition of the San Francisco Chronicle. It was June 3rd, 1888, page 4. It had
1838?
1888, 122 years ago. And it had several grammatical errors and misplaced commas and words misspelled, and he was paid the handsome sum of $5 for his work. And since that morning, there were no royalties and there were no copyright provisions, so it's been in the public domain ever since that time. The young man's name was Ernest Lawrence Thayer. He did not do anything of any consequence before or after. He wrote this poem. The title of his poem was Casey at the Bat. And I'll do as best I can from that Sunday morning edition. By the way, this bat, I performed this Casey at the Bat at the Kansas City T-Bones. They were hosts of the Northern League All-Star game, and a guy named, remember the name Buck O'Neill from the Negro Leagues? He was 94 years old at the time. He's from Kansas City, and he was the honorary guest there. And after the first day, he signed this bat for me. He gave me a brand new bat, signed it, and thanked me, and he died.
He just died about 2
He
years
died 4 months later after I did it. So
Wow.
he's not in the Hall of Fame yet, and they've been making a big push, but he's died.
Yeah, they really think he should be.
Casey at the bat. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with but 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a silky silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to that hope which springs eternal in the human breast. For they thought if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake. The former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats or more, there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded down the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile at Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. And while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, and a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered spear came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm wave on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun spear flew, but Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and an echo answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air. Just a minute now. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer has fled from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the earth is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and little children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
All right, cheers.
Wow. That was worth the price of admission.
Paid entertainment.
I'm not so sure.
So what made you
I'd say
decide?
it's worth $1,000, not $2.
How long ago did you memorize it?
When it was 100-year anniversary, it was published in the newspaper, and I said I'm going to do that. So I did it riding my bike.
Well, let me tell you what. That sounds
I love it.
George.
Got the jersey made
Yeah,
up.
I have the jersey, the Mudville, and that's an authentic Mudville hat.
And you get asked.
Cheers.
Was there a team called Mudville?
Now, where is
No, it was just a mythical.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Where is Mudville?
I think it's a hypothetical town. Thanks, George. Thanks for your tournament. Thanks for
Such a
everything.
pleasure to-
Great.
Very good.
It's a hypothetical town. It's somewhere in Kansas, Missouri, Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that right.